Bulavanaka. Welcome to another Island Life video. In this video we have our monthly meat delivery from the island's butcher. We tend to use this meat to feed our animals. I then have a look at what's actually in each meat parcel, and then I do a bit of hands-on butchery. So if you're squeamish, look away now. I'll also give a breakdown of the costs and show you how I make some dog food. Daniela's off to see her butcher. He's currently parked near Sydney. We're off driving to today then, down to the bottom?
Yep, we're going to Lavena.
Right. Are you going right to Lavena? Okay.
Right up to Lavena. Yep.
Where are you based to? You're down the south here?
Down south.
Yeah, okay.
Down south.
Is it the cattle that are in with the coconut plantations on the right hand side? Yeah, yeah.
It's called Wanyaku.
Ah, okay.
Down south of the uni.
Brilliant. She said there was lots, so I'm going to help her carry it up today. Brilliant.
Okay, there's another bag.
There's it. Okay.
I think there's 10 packets of beans too.
Ooh.
Oxtail, we got fillets, we got rump steak and stuff. Yes. There's a mince.
That's mince. How much is the mince?
Mince is like a kg is $36.
$36.
Yes. Which are mostly bought by the resorts and stuff up the coast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then you've got stuff labelled for who you're dropping it to already.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And resorts up the coast.
And you just do beef, do you? You don't do anything else?
We got beef, we got lamb, and we got goat.
You do lamb and goat as well? Oh, okay. Well, I might ask you. Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I draw the line. No.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving.
Come on, chop chop.
How many dog foods were there?
4.
4 dog foods, 10 steaks,
2 meat dusts,
meat dust and drippings. So
2 drippings.
dog foods are 4 kilos each, so 8, 16, probably 25, 30 kilos in each bag. That's the morning workout. Right, so that was the monthly butcher's delivery. They farm the cattle down the south of the island, as you heard. They do the butchering down there. He's the one butcher who's on the island. So there are no other options, but they supply pretty much all the shops. They also supply the restaurants. And as you heard, he said he was going around to Lavena, so pretty much doing the whole island today. So we got steaks, 500-gram steaks, which are for Eddie only. There's no human consumption here. So yeah, Eddie has raw steak. He likes his raw beef steak. So 500 grams, 11 Fijian dollars each. So Eddie's the cat, obviously, ginger cat. None of the other cats get the same preferential treatment. Just Eddie, the golden child. So that's Eddie's steak. What I've got to do now is everything comes. It's not frozen. Obviously it was frozen, but by the time they get around and start seeing everybody, they've got everything in a cool box, but a lot of it's unfrozen. So we've got dog food, which is basically just internal organs and offal. So they come in 4 kilo packs apparently for $10 each. So I'll unwrap one. What I do is I split it into 2, and then I freeze the other one and have one in the fridge. And basically the one in the fridge will do 2 days. I only cook for the dogs in the mornings, and then they have like a tinned fish, etc. in the evenings. So like I said, offal. So we've got, not particularly my favourite job. And obviously it just shows that we haven't got like a Tesco's or a street butcher here, so we can't go and buy this already prepared. Obviously it's been butchered down as far as they go. So a lot of that's still frozen, but we've got I think this is like lungs or kidneys, something like that. So yeah, get the butcher's knife out and just cut down the middle of my frozen bit. Not the most pleasant thing before 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not thinking about having my breakfast until I get back from walking the dog, so it ain't going to put me off my breakfast. But yeah, Daniela's strictly pescatarian, with the occasional chicken. So yeah, none of this is going to be human consumption. She does help me sometimes if she's off walking loony this morning. So a couple of kilos in that one. Skin and yeah, make a necklace out of the internal tract. But yeah, there's some, when you get the offal, there's some nice bits of meat in there. You know, that's a nice bit of steak, so when that's cooked up. But the dogs aren't fussy. Obviously it's down as dog food, so yeah, the dogs are far from fussy when this is all cooked up and mixed with their mixers. So like rice, yellow split peas, wet bix, oats, breakfast crackers, peas, mixed veg. When that's all mixed up, that is a lovely meal for them. I'm not going to have enough bags, so what I want to do is cut this bag down like that, and I can tie that one up, tie a knot in the bottom of this one, make myself another bag. So this one here, so yeah, we've got four dog meat. So yeah, this is like a month's, well, three to 4 weeks. Daniela has the butcher come and visit. So the dogs don't get this every single day. Obviously I go and buy chicken livers and chicken mince and sausages, and obviously tinned fish, giblets. So that's a good one. You see, you won't get this in the UK butcher. That's a ton. So yeah, you kind of got to desensitize yourself from this. Obviously this was a majestic animal. Yeah, not perfect. You don't see this thing when you go into Tesco's and you buy your bits and pieces. But here there's, like I said, this is the only butcher. Like, there is nothing else. I could just go to the shops and buy chicken livers and bits and pieces like that, but yeah, I haven't got the money for doing that. That's like $6-7 for 500 grams, whereas this is like I said, $10 for 4 kilos. So yeah, but lungs or something, I just don't really want to think about it when you're doing this, clearly. Yeah, so I've got 4 of these to cut up. Sometimes some of the internal tubes, etc., if it's part of the digestive tract, will still have will still have like grass in the process of being digested. So yeah, it's not butchered and cleaned like it would be in the UK or Australia or America. It's yeah, pretty basic. So I'm going to crack on. I've got 4 of these to cut up and separate. Eddie's steak, and then these are drippings or fat. It's supposed to be a kilo. I can't remember how much they are. They're about $6, I think. I think there might be some 2 meat dust. It's supposed to be 2 meat dust. Maybe 1 meat dust. So, yeah, I think we're 1 meat dust short. So that's like freeze-dried mince, basically. Yeah, freeze-dried mince. But that'll be enough for 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, gonna crack on. $10, meat dust $4, dripping $6, steaks are $11. So I'll do all the conversions and put them on screen, and then I'll cook some up for the dogs, put the mixers in, and yeah, that's island life. That's island butchery life. Obviously, locals who live, they'll be eating their steaks. They use the drip in for like making gravies and soups and stuff like that. Yeah, and dog food is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. We'll see the finished result in a minute when it's dished up for the dogs. Ooh, and I'll get Daniela to give the butcher a call and say that we're 1 meat dust short. I think you can actually go down to his unit in the south of the island and buy direct from him out of his cold store. So I know somebody who went down, I think they had a birthday, so they were looking to go down and get some specific cuts of beef. I think they wanted T-bone or something like that. So yeah, you're not going to get all the cuts like you get in a British or American butcher. You're not going to get your T-bones and sirloins and Wagyu dry steaks and all that stuff. So it's very basic. But obviously it serves an island population of 19,000 people. So buying from him direct, he obviously delivers to your end of your driveway, and the price is a lot cheaper than buying from the shops. Probably the steaks, well, they're $11, so the steaks are about $15, $16 in the shop. So you're buying wholesale price from him because we buy in bulk, which is good. Not everybody does that because not everybody's got transport and cars, so a lot of people do have to buy from the shops, and obviously they pay the premium because they're paying the shop overheads and the wages and everything like that. So yeah, a little bit of insight. So I'll just get the rest of this done and yeah, go and prepare the dog food. So here's a close-up of a $10 dog food. Some of the colours in here are a bit questionable. Greens, but you've got like skin. This is like sinews and muscle. You do get the odd bits of bone in there as well, which I've got to pick out when I'm doing it, because obviously dogs can eat raw bone, but they can't eat cooked bone. So some of this, sometimes they have raw, but most of the time I will cook it up because not really sure about the storing of it and whether it's been frozen and defrosted, and yeah, at least cooking it kills some of the parasites. The fat's in here. Don't know what that is, probably don't want to know what that is. I'd say this is a liver or possibly part of the kidney. But yeah, butchery is not something I feel like I have a long-term future in. But yeah, dog food, $10, 4 kilos. So here's the thing. Take a long hard look at this pile of animal flesh. Then take a look at this. Now, one contains 100% meat and the other contains anywhere between 4 and say 90%, but typically in the 20 to 50% range. If you're watching this from a first world country or from a well-serviced city in a developing country, then these meat bits and that bag of meat dust that you saw earlier are exactly what goes into that can of dog food that you buy, and then you feed it to your dog called Buddy or Fido in the evening. You just don't see the process, and if you don't see it, it's hard to connect to the reality of life that we live on a small island, or anywhere in the third world for that matter. Now, as much as we both don't particularly agree with the ethics behind animals grown for human consumption or animal consumption, we have lots of dogs and cats, and the long-term negatives behind feeding them plant-based diets are well documented. Feel free to Google that. So this, in reality, in the long run, it works out cheaper for us. It goes a lot further and lasts a lot longer. It helps to provide the basis of a balanced, healthy diet for the animals. So to that, obviously, we add the cereals, the fruits, the vegetables, everything that we mix in. It is a healthy, balanced diet, or as healthy and balanced as you can get for island life. So some of the dogs are helping me have a bit of a clean up, licking the tarpaulin down. Plenty of flies, some funky smells coming out of that. So when I cook them up, I sort of boil them in a big frying pan, and then I use the water that they're boiled in with all the fats and everything. I pour that into little containers, and Daniela uses that as gruel for Looney. And then because she doesn't drink herself from a bowl, obviously we give her water through syringe, but she has gruel as well, some fats and bits and pieces with her dinner. So when she's eating, she eats steak as well, so Eddie's steak. She likes her steak. So yeah, the fats for the gruel. So then I use that also to mix in with the dog food to sort of break down the wet bits and the oats and stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite a tasty, yummy meal for the dogs. Quickly gonna go and hose down the tarpaulin and the insides of the bags. Right, so that's all cooking done. So that was enough to do 7 dogs. Yeah, now get it all dished up. So, Rachie! Ooh. Straight in there. Gruel, chicken livers, beef drippings. There's oats in there, rice, yellow split peas. Bon appetit, Rachie. So that concludes another video. Thank you for watching. Everybody's off finishing their breakfast whilst I'm having my breakfast. Scrambled egg, bit of sourdough. Yeah, no meat on my plate. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, press like and comment. Wherever you are, have a great week. Bye.